Rise me up with the sun. This house ain't no home without you. When you go, and I'm alone and so blue. Ooh, so rise me up with the sun.
Welcome to this week's roundup from Wexford GAA. We're getting close to the business end of the championship now in both hurling and football. We begin with the Tom Doyle Supplies Senior Football Championship. We're going to look at the highlights between St Martin's and Castletown and hand you over to Michael Dwyer now for commentary.
The Friday night lights of Belfield awaited Castletown and St Martin's on Friday night last as they played out the Tom Doyle Supplies Senior Football Championship quarter-final. An early lead for St Martin's was created by top-scoring attacker Kieran Ling within the opening few minutes of the game. With a clash of colours, both sides had to resort to a different set of jerseys. St Martin's asked for the blue and saffron of Gus Oran, while Castletown asked their Wicklow neighbours Cool Kenno for a set of red and black jerseys. Castletown established parity soon after Ling's strike to make it 1 point apiece in Belfield. Much to the surprise of the large crowd which had gathered at Belfield, Daithí Waters started the game at midfield. He was recovering from a leg injury and he set up this attack for St Martin's, but unfortunately one of their poachers touched the ball along the ground. After 23 minutes, St Martin's led by a single point on a scoreline of 3 points to 2. Kieran Ling lodged a pair of pointed frees to give them that lead. But the dynamic midfield pairing of Anthony Masterson and Danny Gardner for Castletown would soon prevail. Gardner made a storming run inside, he led it off and his colleague found James Jody O'Shaughnessy, who fisted the ball to the back of the St Martin's net to give them a 1-2 to 3 point lead after 23 minutes. St Martin's weren't long about making amends. They cut the gap to a single point when Kieran Ling did a little shimmy, got past his marker and fisted the ball over the bar. After another Castletown free, that made it 1-3 to 4 points. But this time, St Martin's struck back again. After the defence had worked it out of the Castletown attack, they found Linger, who once more obliged for St Martin's. They now trailed by just a single point, 1-3 to 5 points the scoreline. But the frees conceded by the St Martin's men meant that Castletown could build on their lead and they led by a goal, but Kieran Ling's effort just before half-time meant that they trailed by 2. At half-time, it was 1-5 to 6 points in favour of Castletown. But within 5 minutes of the restart, St Martin's went about cutting the Castletown lead. The ball was played inside towards Kieran Ling, and eventually some toing and froing led to a St Martin's goal threat. This time, play culminated with the one and only Daithí Waters. He fisted the ball out to Brian Burney and he buried it in the back of the town end net, and that gave St Martin's a slender lead of 1-6 to 1-5. Soon after that, Castletown almost struck back. A high ball in from Anthony Masterson was just about cleared off the goal line. But then eyes turned to the other end of the field where St Martin's were about to launch a goal threat. Kieran Ling let the ball back to Jamie Carty, but Carty's shot was just about blocked by the Castletown defence. It went out for a 45 kick. In an effort to pare down the deficit, St Martin's came back and Kieran Ling cut the gap to 2-5 to 1-7. And then came the score of the game. Holmes successfully intercepted a St Martin's move, and so he ran riot. He hared through the St Martin's defence, and it was quite disjointed when he lobbed this point over from the 20-metre line. They now led by 2-6 to 1-7. And so, with around 10 minutes remaining, St Martin's needed a lifeline, and it wasn't granted. Daithí Waters' ball inside to the full forward line didn't materialise, and so Castletown went in pursuit of a score. Play culminated with Brendan Halpin, and he let it off to Donncha Holmes, and Holmes opted for the point. Castletown now led by 2-7 to 1-7. But as time went on, Castletown made it more and more difficult for St Martin's to gain any slight advantage from them. Kieran Ling's shot inside was well cleared by the Castletown defence, but next time round they weren't so lucky, as the corner back for St Martin's managed to land a dubious point, and that cut the gap down to 2-7 to 1-9, but time was running out for St Martin's. As injury time ticked down, Castletown managed to maintain their hold of possession, and they just about held on, and so they went through to the semi-finals, and they'll play the men of Gussaran there as they defeated St Martin's on a scoreline of 2-7 to 1-9.
A fantastic action-packed game. We caught up with Anthony Masterson, former Wexford goalkeeper, after the game.
First of all, tough game. I'm out with any at the end of that. A lot of talk coming into the match whether Daithí would play, if Daithí wouldn't play, you know. He's one of the best midfielders in Ireland, let alone Wexford, so it was a big boost for the Martins that he played, but we were fired up for the game no matter who was playing or what team we had to plan, you know. We've the eyes on the big prize at the end of the year, and if you're going to beat anyone, the champions are the team to beat. They took off, they got 3 points, one up. We didn't really start very well, you know. I don't know whether it was the late night or the lads coming out from Dublin, you know. It's not really a great fixture, 8:30 on a Friday night, but you have to take what it is, and the same for both teams. The Martins tore into us in the first 10 minutes, and it took us a while to get going, but once we got going, we got a great goal, and I missed the penalty as well. We had a chance to maybe pull away a few points ahead, but Martins came back at us, and we were in a good shape going in at half time, 2 points up, but the Martins came out and hit us with a sucker punch right after half time and got a goal. But to our credit, you know, we kept battling away, and we spoke about chipping away at the scoreboard, you know, and ticking away at the points, and we just done enough in the probably the start of the third or the last quarter, and we were just holding on for dear life towards the end.
Earlier in the evening, we saw Adamstown and Kylenearan battle it out in the relegation final, with Adamstown coming out on top with 210 to 8 points. We now catch up with Jim McGovern, the Adamstown manager, for his thoughts on the game.
It means an awful lot, Leona, having got down in senior hurling, and we've serious quality in both codes, you know, and the lads are heartbroken to go down in senior hurling. They certainly made a pact that they wouldn't go down in senior football. It's been a very, very difficult year with injuries and fellas emigrating and one thing and another, incredibly difficult, and I think we're a quality senior football team, definitely, and definitely deserve to be staying senior, you know.
Wexford's newly appointed senior football manager, David Power, was a keen spectator at the weekend's games. We had an opportunity to meet up with him in Belfield.
I suppose I've been involved with the Tip underage for the last 7-8 years, between under 16 minor and under 21, and I suppose to be given this is a massive honour, I suppose, to my club and to my family, and look, it's one that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, I've been reading in the papers over the last week or so, and you know, you're carrying the tag as the youngest, the baby manager in the setup. Does that bother you, or that the focus is on you from that side of things?
No, because I suppose when I was appointed the minor manager in 2009 with Tip, I was tagged with that. I was too young, you know, and I suppose look, I have every confidence in myself that I can do a good job for Wexford football, and I suppose the Wexford County Board have every confidence also in me that they, you know, so I'm really looking forward to the challenge, and I think I can do Wexford football proud.
Yeah, just looking at the structures here in Wexford, you know, one of the comments that seems to be rising about you is that you were unhappy with the club structure in Tipperary. You know, like Wexford would be similar to Tip in some senses, insofar as that we have hurling and football teams. What are you looking for from Wexford?
I suppose from the club structure, what I meant was the standard of club football overall wasn't great. I suppose from the bit of research that I'm after doing about Wexford is I know that club football is a lot better than Tipperary, and Tipperary is coming, you know, it's getting better. I suppose the point I was making about the lack of club structures is the lack of young talent that are going out playing the Sigerson Cups with UCC, UCD, and so I'm trying to, I suppose what I was trying to get out there was to get more people playing football at a higher standard.
I suppose one of the key questions, you know, would be in relation to the dual players. Do you think that there's a role for a dual player in playing hurling and football, regardless of what county they play for?
I suppose it is very hard at senior hurling and senior football, I suppose, to do both. But ultimately, it does come down to the player. The player has to make that decision. If the player wants to play both, I think then it's up to both management to see can that happen. And what I mean by that is put a plan in place where the player can actually maximise his performance. Every player is different. You know, there's no scientific facts out there saying a dual thing can't work. It comes down to the player.
So basically, you're saying as a manager, you would be open to the idea of a Wexford player playing both if it was, you know, feasible.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I suppose I dealt with a lot of dual players, I suppose, with minor and under 21 in Tipperary. Now I know it's different because senior is just a different level again, but I'd be very, very open to the fact that if a fella wants to play both football and hurling for Wexford, that I'd be very, very open to that.
Okay, and just for any footballers that are out there at the moment, you know, maybe looking at this, or you know, what are you looking for from them?
Yeah, well, I suppose I said during the week that I am opening up the door to any footballer that thinks that they have the capabilities of playing senior football for Wexford, whether he's playing junior, intermediate or senior for his club. I will give any player a chance to play for Wexford, and like I have no doubt there's unhidden talent probably in Wexford, and look, I would like to appeal to those fellas to make themselves available. If they really want to play inter-county football, well, come knocking on our door.
Yeah. I know it's very early, and I know you're basically in your first week, and you know this weekend is to kind of like have a look and see what's going on in Wexford and what the standard is and everything. But can we get any insights into your goals for the year, or you know?
I suppose my goals for the year, I suppose after looking at the championship, the draw is favourable, but I suppose every other team will be saying that also. I suppose like you're starting, I suppose the league is the big starting point, I suppose, to try to get out of Division 3. I suppose I was on record saying, you know, I suppose to win titles, you have to be playing probably Division 1, Division 2 football. So I suppose if I'm to carry that through, I have to get Wexford out of Division 3, which is very, very doable, but it's also hard. It is a hard league. We have a lot of long trips. We have a trip to Louth, a trip to Sligo, a trip down to Clare as well. So there's a lot of long trips, I suppose, involved. But every game, I think, is very it's achievable for Wexford to win all those games.
So David, who can we expect to see around the place from your backroom team? Have you any?
Well, I suppose it's early days yet. I'm hoping to talk to a couple of people over the next couple of days, so I can't really comment on it yet, but hopefully I will have a couple of former players involved, and that's really all I can say for the minute.